So I kind of have a couple questions for you, and my first question is, how did you get into your career that you have now?
Well, I was a cheerleader when I was a kid, and
Okay.
then I started coaching with the Prairie cheer program in 1999.
Okay.
And I coached for a long time until I had my daughter
Okay.
in 2007, and then I just started doing kind of behind the scenes administrative work. So I was always in the gym, but I was more behind the scenes
Okay.
at that point. And then the former owner of the gym decided that he was going to close the gym, and then that's when I decided to buy it and then
gotcha.
own the gym. But I
Okay.
started out with being a cheerleader myself.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really know that. All right. What do you like most about your job?
What I like about this is, especially in our gym, I like that it's giving a lot of kids a lot of exposure and opportunity to be in this sport. So cheerleading and gymnastics are historically very expensive sports and typically an upper middle class type thing. And so just with the way that our business model is, we can offer a little bit lower pricing and make it a little bit more all-inclusive for kids.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I like that we have a lot of kids in here.
Yeah. All right. What advice would you have for someone preparing for a career in this type of field?
What I would say is follow your passions. So if you're going to be in something recreational and something sports related, to make sure that you have a passion for it first, because especially in our industry, it's about the kids. So if you don't have a passion for the sport or passion for the field that you're in, it's really hard to sustain and keep going. So just have a good passion and do what you love.
I know what you mean. All right. How did you kind of get into the industry of recreation and that?
Well, it's kind of interesting. Our gym started out as a competitive cheerleading gym, and when I bought it, I made the decision to expand into more than just the competitive cheerleading, and I added the recreational gymnastics and then the open gyms and open playtimes and things like that. And it was just the reason I got into it was I just wanted to create some more diversity than just the competitive.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I just used what I already had and then just built on it.
Yeah. All right. What would you say are the biggest challenges that you face in this type of job or career?
Our biggest challenges is definitely staffing. So having enough staff members, and we have really specific quotas that we have to stay within for insurance and for safety reasons. And so we have to have so many staff on, and so it's just really hard to find staff. And it's just, this market is really tough to find people, and people that actually know what they're doing in this world. So that's probably the biggest challenge, is staffing.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. What would you do on a typical day at work?
So a typical day here, my job is to just general oversight of everything that happens in the gym. So anywhere from, I'm in charge of all the finances, so I make sure that we stay in budget, I develop all the budgets, all the forecasts. My job is and then I pay all the bills and obviously do the payroll and all of that kind of stuff. I'm also in charge of marketing and advertising and making sure we get the word out. I do a lot of networking, so different things with the schools and with community organizations, making sure that we're networking. And then it's just general oversight of what happens on a daily basis. So identifying, our strengths and then capitalizing on those, and then identifying the weaknesses and fixing them.
Okay, kind of the overall of everything.
Yeah, so overall management.
Yeah, that's probably a lot to do.
Yeah, but the biggest piece of my job is the finance and marketing. Is what my job is.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
What kind of formal education do you recommend for a job like this?
Yeah, I think business management is a big key, knowing how to do business management, because a lot of people open gyms just because they were in that field, or they were an athlete in the sport, and they might not necessarily have the business acumen behind it. So to know how to run a business and do the budgeting and staying on on top of your finances and things like that. So I think a combination of something in the recreational field, but then also having some business management classes or a degree would be critical into being your success or failure.
Okay. What are like some common like career paths like compared to this kind of that you would?
Yeah, I think in this world, mostly it's the athletics, coming up
Okay.
through that specific
Yeah.
athletic program. Otherwise, in the stuff that we do, there's also, event management,
Okay.
marketing,
Yeah.
and like I said before, like the business management.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. What kind of like led you to the role you're in today? You kind of already like
Yeah.
discussed this a little bit.
Yeah, it was really, when the former owner decided that he was going to just close his doors, I just couldn't imagine this gym with my daughter's life without this gym in it. And, she had been in here since she was born.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was just, it kind of fell in my lap, but I had done a lot of work up to that point to prepare myself for that transition into owning it.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What would you say like the biggest rewards that come with like a job like this?
I would say some of the biggest rewards are seeing kids and their transformations.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a shy kid come in that doesn't ever talk or is, you can tell is clearly very shy.
Yeah.
And then by the end of a class or by the end of a season is completely out of their shell.
Mm-hmm.
Or when I have parents come up to me and say, we've never found my kid's sport before. We've never found their thing before. And now this is their thing.
Yeah.
And so I think really the most rewarding is the evolution of the kids as they've been through our programs.
Mm-hmm. It's exciting to like see them how different they can be at the end of this.
Yeah.
Are like internships common in this career or like field of work?
I'm not sure about internships, but we definitely employ a lot of college and high school kids that have interest in sports management or recreational management, things like that. And we have a lot of kids that have grown up through our program that have gone on for nursing degrees too, so it is still like kind of caring for people, but kind of in a different aspect. But I'm not sure about internships, but we definitely have employed a lot of high school and college kids over the years.
Yeah. And the last question I have is, what would you think are the most important like characteristics a person should have for a job like this?
Yeah. For mine particularly, it's thick skin. So having that thick skin to understand that you're not going to make everybody happy, whether it's employees or customers. And typically for every one complaint you have 50 compliments. So just having that thick skin to be able to take complaints, whether they're from employees or from customers, learn from it, figure out if it's something you can learn and fix and move on from, and then move on from that.
Okay.
So it's just, and also being very creative. So there's a lot of competition in youth recreation, not just in your particular sport, but in lots of sports. There's a lot of opportunities for kids. So being creative, trying to stay ahead of the competition, and just paying really close attention to your competition and what they're doing, and making sure that you have your own niche and your own thing that people think of you. Like what's your brand? What do people think of when they think of your business?
Yeah. All right. I think that is all I have for you today.
That was pretty easy.
Yeah.